Hey, when you see the world through my eyes, you're getting critical views. I'm talking street politics and real political moves. See the reviews, exclusive fashion, hat to the shoes. Corporate businesses, the sports world, and real interviews. You can shine in the future just by hearing these Jews. We changing up the way the culture be received.
J Hood, what up? What up? What's up with you, Hood? Been a long time, man. What's good with you?
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? It's been a minute, but we here now.
I know, man. We've been trying to lock in this interview probably for like the last year and a half or so, man.
At least a year and a half.
Hey, like you said, we here now. We getting to it. And glad to have you here, man. But I know who you are. Introduce yourself and let us know who you are and whatever in everything that you do.
What's up, man? It's your boy J Hood, YSF. YSF stands for Young, Successful, and Fortunate. I'm the CEO of YSF, CEO and founder of YSF The Label, which is the hottest independent, or should I say super independent label, coming straight out of Kentucky, Radcliffe, Kentucky to be exact. I got the hottest artist coming out of the state of Kentucky right now, 38 Honcho, the biggest, an amazing brand, amazing support system. We got a clothing line that follows behind it. We got a bunch of shit really going on right now, and for myself especially, got a bunch of things on the plate right now. But this music journey is been in the front seat. It's been the priority. So just, you know what I'm saying, trying to build everything else that I got going on around that right now.
Nah, real talk. Now, you said something that really just caught my attention. The biggest super independent label right here in the area, Kentucky, the region, so on and so forth. And I can kind of vouch for that. I was just with you a couple weeks ago. We went to the Bryson Tiller private listening party, private event that he had going on. And it was almost like it was a YSF event, man.
it was. Listen, so crazy part about it is it was put together by a member of YSF,
okay,
which is Stephon Dupree,
yeah,
who discovered Bryson Tiller, Ice Spice, but he's the president of A&R at YSF.
Okay,
so he definitely put that together, which is why I felt so YSF dominant.
Okay. That's what's up, man. Shout out to Stephon Dupree. Hey, he's been doing his work. Is he based out of Kentucky or is he somewhere else?
He is. Bro's from Lexington.
Okay.
Yep. So he's from Lexington, Kentucky. But he's been based out of Lexington. He's been in Lexington for a while. You know, he traveled, lived in maybe Cali, I want to say, for a little bit, but he found his way back to Kentucky. So he's been here since.
Okay. Now, you just also told us that YSF stands for Young, Successful, Fortunate. Mm-hmm. How did you come up with that name, and what made you stick with that YSF?
Man, I started YSF with two people, my brother Ryan Ray and LaRod King.
Okay.
And we started YSF. It was something totally different, though. We started it almost as like investments. Like we were gonna be investing into small businesses, and then from there it kind of transformed into the trucking. But how we came up with the name was on the phone talking to them one day back in 2017, and I was living in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Ryan Ray was living in Houston, and LaRod was I think he was just now coming back from Atlanta, or he might have still been living in Atlanta at the time, and we were trying to figure out a name, and I'm asking them yo, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? And we just, throwing ideas around, and I just, out of nowhere, I was like, Young, Successful, Fortunate, YSF. We're young, you know what I'm saying? We're young and we're pursuing our dreams. We're chasing our dreams right now. We're successful because we're alive to have another attempt to chase our dreams, which is that's success to me.
Real
you
talk,
know what I'm
yeah.
And we're fortunate enough to be breathing and able to put our heads together and try to make this something bigger than what it is, YSF. We're young, successful, and fortunate. And it kind of just came from there, bro. And then one thing led to the next. Another thing led to the next. And then it was boom, 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 boom. This business, this business, this business, this business. It's been a journey from when I sit and think about it, it's almost 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Just being a thing, being active. Several different LLCs under the umbrella. So many different things that we've done that have been accomplished and things that have yet to be accomplished. And it's the biggest brand on earth right now. Not just on the aspect of clothing, but just the movement, the way of life, how we're coming. It's some new shit that people gonna have to they're gonna have to adjust to because we coming. Like we gonna be there, so they're just gonna have to make adjustments.
Right there.
Have to make adjustments.
That's real talk. Now YSF is, you know, it's 3 letters, YSF, Young Successful Fortunate. Then you also have YSL, Young Slime Life. Do people often confuse the 2 brands with one another?
All the time. I mean, I'm tired. I'll be places now, look at my chain and be like, "You're YSL." I look down at my shit like, I know they see this big ass F.
Right.
They don't even look like an L. But nah, they do it all the time. And then once I actually tell them the meaning behind YSF, what those 3 little letters stand for, it completely switches their train of thought. Whatever they were thinking, it's like, oh wow, young, successful, fortunate. Yeah. So it changes things drastically. It really does.
Real talk. Now, speaking of YSL, the last 2 co-defendants on the RICO case were just found not guilty. Have you been following the YSL trial? And if so, what do you think is next for not just Young Thug, but those guys who also beat that RICO?
I ain't even gonna lie to you, Brody. I be minding my business.
Right.
I be minding my business, bro. I got enough going on in my own camp, bro. I ain't got time to even think about what they got going on in their camp for real, for real. I'm happy Thugger free. I'm happy all them guys free. You know what I'm saying? I don't never want to see no man locked down behind bars at all. So whatever it is, as long as nobody was, you know, snitching on each other, doing no crazy shit to get out, hey, salute. You know what I'm saying?
Now,
Salute.
real talk. Now, you just spoke. You kind of briefly spoke on some of your life story. So, from you being with your crew, LaRod, and what's the other guy's name? And Ryan coming up with YSF, you said how it morphed into you was going to do invest in these small businesses. But then, J Hood, you got into the trucking business. You also got into the cleaning business and just doing those small business things for yourself. Talk about that journey and how you got that hustle in you to go out there and chase these dreams, because now you're going from doing those things to you're the, you know, top manager, CEO in the region.
Listen, I'm a young kid from Radcliffe, Kentucky, man. Where I come from, it wasn't really a whole lot of opportunity, but there was a whole lot of negativity. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot more opportunity for people to get in trouble because we didn't have a lot of resources coming out of a small area like this. Just a bunch of people selling dope, bunch of people doing dope. You know what I'm saying? So we never really had a lot of people that had the opportunity to leave here and start something different for themselves. Shout out to my homies that were able to stay here in Radcliffe and make something happen for themselves, or E-Town, whatever the case may have been. But I'm from right here in Radcliffe, Kentucky, man, and I always knew that I wanted something more than where I came from. You know what I'm saying? And I started traveling the world early, so I started seeing a lot of other niggas getting money early. I started seeing a lot of other crews bonding together, you know what I'm saying, early. I started seeing things that we didn't have going on back here just because of the dynamic.
The dynamics is everything.
We weren't raised in that type of environment. It just wasn't like that. Like when you go to a bigger city, the way the niggas move around, how they move together, how they get money together, it wasn't really like that here because it was so small. And then, you know, niggas get to hate, and that happens in all circles. But when you in a really small place, it happens even more, like more frequently. The chances to bond together with a group of niggas to get money is slim to none. Yeah. But I wanted more, so I left here, you know what I'm saying, at an early age. I went to University of Kentucky. I left Kentucky and went to Charlotte, North Carolina. And the very first thing that I did, I was selling cars before I left here, which is how I was really able to put some money aside. I made my first 6 figures at 23 years old selling cars.
Oh, that's hard.
So when I left Kentucky and I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, I had enough money put up to where I can invest in a little spot, like a little lounge. And I oftentimes I forget that I owned a lounge at 25 years of age in Charlotte. I was actually one of the first lounge owners in Charlotte. It wasn't too many lounges popping at that time in 2017. Not like it is now, you know what I'm saying? So I went to a whole different market with a totally different crowd of people, totally different clientele. They move different, dress different, talk different, act different. They get money different, you know what I'm saying? And I went and I was able to tap into that market early in the club scene. From there, I kind of was able to evolve. Took a big loss at the end. I won tremendously in the beginning, took a big loss at the end, and it kind of caused me to branch into other things. It was a blessing, though, to say the least. I got to touch some real money early in my life, and nothing opens your eyes more than having an opportunity to really make real money. You know what I'm saying? Like, to really make some life-changing money that you can do something with. It creates a type of freedom that others don't really get the chance to experience.
Yeah.
And it's just all on what you do with that money. And I mean, I didn't come from money. So me being able to get that type of money early, it was a great learning experience because I fucked it up.
Hey, but you know how to get it right back, though.
I fucked it up. You hear me?
Yeah.
But like I said, one thing went from that to the next thing to the next thing. I went from owning my own club lounge to starting a nonprofit to starting my own clothing line to starting my commercial janitorial business, a TV mounting service. I did a bit of everything, bro. I did a bit of everything, but I think all of it derived from being from here in Radcliffe and not having anything.
More and more.
Not seeing a lot of niggas that's driving down the street in the Lambos and the Porsches. You know what I'm saying? Not including, you know, the military niggas, they're going to have, you know, like
They got the starter kit.
Chargers and they're going to have that. But I'm talking about being around real money, seeing niggas with Rolls Royces driving down the street. And we didn't get that. We don't get that here in Kentucky. You don't get an opportunity to see shit like that on the regular. Like when you do, it's mind blowing. Like, wow. You go to a bigger city, Charlotte, Atlanta, Houston, LA, New York, it's regular. They see that.
See it all the time.
You might see 5 of them back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was just that drive from being from a place like her and not having that, wanting to be the first one that's from where I'm from that really got that shit.
Now, okay, so you talking about where you're from and the city that you're from. Let me ask you this. Describe your city in 3 words or less.
Desperate, cold, willing to learn, though.
Yeah.
See, I say desperate because a lot of people that are from where I'm from, they like I said, they've never really had that opportunity. They've never had a chance to really make no real money. I think the average annual income around here is somewhere between like $34,000 and $42,000 a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In 2024, that ain't no money. After you
Ain't
pay
no
your rent,
chicken.
your car note, you gotta get groceries, you gotta pay bills. People ain't really got much of nothing, so that's why I say desperate.
Yeah.
A nigga will take you for some chump change out here. You feel me?
Right.
For nothing, bro, for
No.
crumbs. And I
Real
say it's
tough.
cold, though, because we've never really had anything to bond us together. You know what I'm saying? We've never really had, we did long time ago, but we haven't in a long time had like that centerpiece or somebody that can keep the whole city together or pull the city together. We've never had that. But that's why I say willing to learn, because the fact that we've never had it, when we do get it, it's going to create a lot of opportunity for people in the area, for the designers, for the people that have podcasts, for the creatives. We just haven't had anybody to open doors. And now I feel like because the doors have been closed for so long, we don't have that many creators in the area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I'm happy about Rich Guy coming back down here and being able to collab with me and us being able to do something for our city, because we have some very key pieces out here that we can put together, you know, so utilizing our resources, being able to bring those together, we can do something for our city. We can help our city make some noise.
Nah, real talk.
We really can.
It's definitely a blessing to have individuals like you and Rich definitely making moves, and y'all got the motion. So you know what I'm saying? Why not link up with one another and put that motion together and keep it moving?
Gotta put that motion together.
Shit, that's for
Ever
sure.
since Rich touched down, he ain't been doing nothing, but he been on my, listen, he be on my line and he been telling me, make sure you stay on my line. So I be doing that. Make sure, you feel me? I make sure I stay on bro line. I make sure we send some type of communication every day. Just, you know what I'm saying? Because we got some big shit on the floor, and what I don't want us to do is, I don't want us to talk about what we can do or what we have the opportunity to do, but we not communicating enough to really bring that shit together.
Right.
So I want to make sure that I'm staying in his line of communication so that we really bring that motherfucker together.
Real talk.
How we supposed to.
Real talk. Now, a couple years ago, when I first came across you, Hood, you were running with Brazy Brook. You came through. You all did the podcast at the other space. Since then, but before you had Brazy, you had another artist.
Fast Cash Alley.
So you had Fast Cash Alley. Talk about your experience working with these artists that led you up to be able to get with 38 Honcho and do your thing now. Because I want to talk about. I also want to talk about how you met 38 Honcho and what that experience has been like.
So, dealing with Fast Cash Alley, that was like my first real street artist. You know what I'm saying? Like when you dealing with street niggas, you kind of gotta be like disciplinary. Not saying that they don't need it, but street niggas live a different lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? They march to the beat of their own drum.
Own fucking drums.
And they've never really had nobody to like really like give order. And it's not like you trying to lay the law and give order like you they daddy or nothing like that, but them niggas march to the beat of their own drum. So when they do have somebody that's behind them, pushing them to be better, pushing them to be on time, pushing them to dress better, to look better, it changes a whole lot for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, dealing with Fast Cash Alley kind of opened my eyes early to dealing with a young, wild, just outside doing stupid shit. It taught me how to like manage somebody of that caliber. And Alley brought me Brazy Brook.
Okay.
So Brazy Brook also, not that she's a street artist, but definitely comes from, you know, something that's not ideal. You know what I'm saying? She's had to overcome a lot, and she's a woman at that.
Yeah.
So just learning how to deal with women, a talented woman, you know what I'm saying, that when that estrogen is too low.
So now you got a whole nother thing to learn.
That's
you done learned about the street artists. Now you got to learn how to
me?
deal with the female artists.
And she was young too.
Yeah.
So she taught me how to deal with women in all seasons, through all stages of their current well-being. You know what I'm saying? So from dealing with that time of the month when Mother Nature is there, because they turn into a whole different beast there.
Yeah.
But dealing with them there to, you know, when they're happy, when they're not happy, when they're really sad, when they're overly emotional, just learning how to deal with that. You know, obviously experience is life's greatest teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, wisdom comes from experience.
Yeah.
So the more experienced you are at different things, the better it's gonna make you. So by the time 38 Honcho came into my presence, which was through my homegirl, a long time, one of my best friends, her name is Desiree. Dizzy actually seen him on Instagram. I don't know if she went from his Instagram live to his page or what, but she was fucking with a freestyle that he did. And she sent it to me on Instagram, and she was like, he's hard. You should fuck with him, like that. So I tap into him. I go to his page. He ain't really had much on his page at the time. He had somewhere between like 1,000 and 1,200 followers on Instagram. This like a year and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? And I go listen to the video, and I'm like, man, I really hear the potential in his voice. Like, I hear the pain more than anything. And I'm like, I'm assessing the situation. I'm looking. I'm like, man, he really looked like that. And I'm reading the comments, and the people in the comments
they fucking with him.
They fucking with him, and they co-signing the fact that he's that. That he's rapping. And it's not like what he's rapping is like the best shit ever, but I just hear potential.
Yeah.
I hear it. So I hit him up. And when I hit him, I DM'd him. And I set up a time for us to talk on the phone. So I'm out at a restaurant. I'm in LA. I'm in San Diego at the time. I'm living in Cali. But I'm in San Diego with my peoples. Me and my pops, we got at Chili's having some drinks. But I find Honcho, and I just can't even have my drinks and my wings no more. I'm like locked into my phone trying to lock something in with him. And I called him, and at the time, he had his best friend, Lexi, who at the time, she was his acting manager, I guess.
Yeah.
And he had already told me, he had already heard it, like he had did his research on me, and he was like, yeah, you official tissue, bro. That's why you feel me? Like, your name ain't came back bad. So that's why I'm on the phone with you. We just chopped it up. 3 weeks later, I was on a flight to go see him in Kentucky. I came all the way back to Kentucky, and I booked a studio session. That very first studio session that I booked for him, he made his best streaming song right now, Smooth Nigga.
Okay.
And you know, that just kind of kicked things off. From there, I knew that we had to go through some artist development because he had never been a rapper before. I had to take a street nigga and convert him into a rapper. I was taking a real deal street nigga who the jails and the streets knew him, but nobody else really knew him. Like, he's a very likable guy. Like, if you meet him, he's got crazy personality. Like, so the people that have encountered him in life can never forget him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the jails and the streets knew him more than civilians. So when I'm meeting him, I'm like, I gotta take a real street nigga and convert him into a rapper. This nigga didn't want to be a rapper at all. He didn't want to be in front of the camera for real. He didn't really want to shoot videos for real. He was super nervous in front of the camera. He had been to the studio, but you know, it's like one of those things where a nigga might have had like 5, 6 songs.
It's the real deal. I'm a trapper. I'm a
Real
trapper,
deal.
not a rapper.
Nah,
you
for
feel me?
real.
So this
That's
trap
what it
shit
was.
come first. The rap shit is
You
on
know
the
how
back
it
end.
is.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Studio,
finna go
he-
get this chicken real quick. I
and
ain't worry about
then-
that rap shit later. Yeah.
That's how he was. 2 hours in the studio might have been a full session for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like he was just going and just in the studio 4 or 5 hours. Never.
Get an hour or two. I'm done. I'm
Hour or
good.
two, he's
yeah.
out that motherfucker.
Don't even worry about the mix and
Don't
master.
even worry about
we finna
it.
take this back to
you
the
feel me? That's how he was
Yeah,
coming.
I already know it.
So when I was able to get my twist on, okay, now you going to sit in the studio 5, 6, 7 hours, and I'm gonna send you across the bridge, so you can't even make your plays. You know what I'm saying? You got to be across the bridge and you can't do nothing. You got your flip phone, but your play's going to have to come across the bridge to try to make something shake. But that's kind of where we was at with it. But I knew that he was locked in when bro was missing plays to sit in the studio.
Right, yeah.
That's when I knew, like, okay.
Start seeing that
I
transition.
started to see the transition. I'm like, okay, maybe he does want this. And we didn't really have much time from the time that I discovered him to the time he got locked up. I discovered him in February. We turned him in July. You know what I'm saying? So from February to July, I had a little bit of time to kind of transform him from 100% street nigga to rapper.
Yeah.
And so he got locked up. He did 8.5 months. He was only out rapping for 4.5 months, you know what I'm saying, before he got locked up. So I don't know, bro. It was just a crazy process. Like
Yeah.
the legwork that went into it while he was locked up, just to keep his shit going. Cause you know, niggas get locked up and the buzz goes all the way down.
Yeah.
His shit went up.
Yeah, cause but during that time, I noticed that you had a plan in place for 38 Honcho, cause you knew that he was gonna go sit down and do some time. So I kind of sat back and I'm watching too. I'm like, okay, Hood working, and the whole time that he was sitting down doing his bid, it was like he never went anywhere.
You
because
couldn't even tell.
You couldn't even tell he was gone.
We had so much.
Right.
I think we, before Honcho got locked up, I want to say, bro, that we shot somewhere between like 8 and 10 music videos before he got locked up that we had just in the cut. He recorded almost 80 songs.
Yeah.
80, 90 songs in a matter of 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? That we had just in the cut. Then not even the music videos, but we had content. We had another 15 to 20 pieces of content, solid pieces of content that were going to keep us afloat while he was locked up. So between the 8 to 10 music videos, you know, utilizing the music videos as content too, realistically with everything, we had maybe 50, 60 pieces of content, solid pieces of content to get us through 8 to 8.5 months, and it did.
Yeah.
It got us all the way to the home stretch. Like, we literally had just enough to get us through, and we did it. We was able to drop a music video or two the whole, like, while he was locked up every month. Nothing stopped. Like, people were telling me, like, bro, we couldn't even tell he was locked up.
He was jammed up.
Couldn't even tell. Like, it was one of those if you knew, you knew type things, but it was a blessing that he believed the things that I was telling him, so it wasn't like pulling teeth. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes, you know, I had to pull a tooth or two. Like, hey, bro, you got to do this. You got to do, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Especially when a nigga got to get his check in. He like, hey, bro, I ain't even make no money today. You want me to go fucking sit in the motherfucking booth in a whole another state where I can't make no money.
Right.
So, you know, we had times like that. But for the most part, though, he trusted me. And I think that just seeing how everything panned out and how he came home a whole different nigga, it kind of really made him be like, okay, maybe I do gotta listen to this nigga a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? So it was some work that went into it. I can't lie. It was some work that went into it. It was a process, and it was a type of work that a lot of people don't want to do. It was that type of work that you still got to do it even when you ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the hardest kind. That's the shit. Well, we OT, but man, I ain't even got no money to do this or do that because I'm spending it all on this. But
that's the true definition of getting it out the mud.
That's the true definition of getting it out the mud. That's when you know you different than other people. Like when you ain't making no excuses.
Yeah.
When you know that my pockets is fucked up and I'm hungry, but I still got to do this. Even though I might not see a return on this shit in another year or two, I still got to go do this because I'm building my music resume. I still got to go shoot this video. I still got to go lock in with this podcast that ain't got nothing but 1,000 followers and is only doing 5 views on YouTube. I still got to go do it. You know what I'm saying? Not because I owe it to anybody, but because this is repetition. It's getting to work. It's building those relationships.
And it's also preparing you for that next level.
Plus,
you can
the
come
same
here.
people you see on the way up.
Yeah, you gonna see. Come on.
You gonna see on your way down. You feel me?
Real
so
talk.
you gotta treat everybody, even the people that only got 5 views on the YouTube. You gotta treat them like they got 5 million views, cause they might pop before you pop.
Right. Just like them
feel
artists, just like those artists who go perform at those shows and it's only 10 people there,
Yep.
but they still give them a show
Still give 'em a
like
show.
it's 1,000 motherfuckers in the
That's
building.
how you make diehard fans, though.
Exactly.
That's how you make the people that's gonna buy every project, every T-shirt, every beanie, coming to every show that they can. They even gonna travel. That's where you make those diehards, because you can touch those people in a very intimate way. Not, no Diddy, but you can. Listen, it'd be funny. Before I can say, it'd be funny as hell because people always be like, "Bro, what you got going is big, bro. You remind me of Diddy." And I always say, without the shenanigans, though.
Without the shenanigans.
Without the shenanigans.
Yeah.
It is big like that or bigger without the shenanigans.
Come on, man. No YSF parties?
Come on now. Listen, at 12 o'clock, everybody got to go.
Everybody. Hey, they did it the same way at Diddy spot.
No, they
everybody,
didn't.
certain
No.
motherfuckers had to go.
Everybody
Other
got
niggas
to
can
go.
stay.
No, we ain't staying. No, we going.
That's
what you
crazy.
do after this is on you.
It's on your
It
ass.
ain't on me. It ain't on us. We out of here, though. You not associating us with this. Not associating us with this. So, yeah, buddy, it was a journey, but it's really just getting started. Like, I feel like we built a nice foundation for Honcho, but I feel like it only gets bigger and better from.
Speaking of Diddy, we're not comparing YSF and J Hood to Diddy, but they just denied his bond for the 3rd or 4th time. Do you see the prosecutors or the DA letting Diddy out, or what do you think they gonna do with him, man? Make him sit till it's time to go to trial?
Man, may God be with that man. I just, you know what I'm saying? Listen, I pray that whatever happens is supposed to happen, happens. You know what I'm saying? If he's not guilty, I pray they find him not guilty if he really didn't do this stuff. But if he really did it, listen, that's between him, God, and the judge.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk. Now, just recently, probably about a month ago, I posed the question: is Kentucky the Midwest, or is Kentucky considered the South? Some people say Kentucky is the top of the South. Some people say Kentucky is the Midwest. Me, I look at it like this. I say top of the South because if I go to Hoptown and Bowling Green, Franklin, they gonna say they from the South. But if I come up to Louisville and anywhere further, they gonna say Midwest.
They are.
So, what's your opinion on that right there?
Kentucky's Midwest South.
It's crazy. It's in a unique spot because even
Kentucky's Midwest South is really, if you're looking at it, geographically, it's Midwest.
well, technically,
But it has a southern feel.
technically the Mason-Dixon line
Yeah,
has Kentucky as the top of the South,
you're right.
and then because St.
right.
Louis is the midway, it's the gateway to the West.
Yep, it
so would
is.
St. Louis be the West, or it's just weird? It's weird where Kentucky kind of plays too.
It
though.
is. And then Kentucky fits. You get a little bit of both.
You do.
Like you get like the southern bells and then like that southern feel, but then you get a little bit of like in terms of like the slang and the language, it's a little bit more like Midwest.
Well, I will say I do see the Midwest in the way that the dialect from those people in Louisville, the hers, the theirs, all, you know what I'm saying, definitely Midwest versus the South. So that's why I know like a lot of people from Louisville and up, you know, gonna say Midwest.
Yeah, they're gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's all so close though, like relatively close. Louisville's just more city like.
Yeah.
So like it's a lot faster there compared to other areas, and the obviously it's a lot more black people.
Definitely.
So it's gonna be a lot different where when you in like predominantly white areas, the slang and the dialect and the way people maneuver is gonna be a lot different.
Yeah.
It's a lot slower. So you gotta, you know, kind of grow accustomed to where you are. Louisville, they move like a city.
Yeah.
Like it's different in Louisville. They move like the
And see what now it gets a little different when you go to your Hopkinsvilles because it's a lot of black
a lot of
people.
black people there,
You know,
too.
your Bowling Green, they
Yeah.
got their pockets.
Yeah.
You know, and then you know Paducah, they got their people up there. You know,
do.
it's but like we said, they style is totally different
It
than
is.
like Louisville, because even when you talk to Louisville and you look at Louisville
Louisville's
cats,
its own entity.
it's Louisville and
Yeah.
then everything else.
Everything else.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like Louisville is not even part
That's
of
why they
Kentucky.
say
They just-
Louisville.
Right, Louisville. It ain't nothing else.
That's why they say Louisville.
No, real talk. Now, I was online and I was looking at Rap Caviar, and they have the MVPs of this year, and that list that they have on here. So they got their first string, second string, and third string. You know, they got on the first string Tyler the Creator, Future, Kendrick, Playboy Cardi, Metro Boomin. On the second list are they have what what's his name? Cash Cobain, Big X the Plug, Boss Man D-Lo. But on the third string, this was interesting. It's where they put Drake.
That's disrespectful. I mean, but he didn't really drop shit this year.
Nah, he didn't drop. He really dropped nothing this year.
Nah.
But you know, Drake's been running. He been running the game.
Yeah.
He's been doing his thing. So, do you think that the decision? But the third string, do you think that the decision was based off of the Kendrick and Drake beef? Why they put him on the third
had
string?
a lot to do with it too. Where was Kendrick placed?
They got Kendrick on the first string.
Yeah, that was probably based off of that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of like LeBron. You know how like even though LeBron still is maintaining great numbers, like MVP caliber seasons, they don't want to give it to him because he's been doing it for so long, and they feel like he just made it so regular. I feel like they treating Drake like that right now, so he's been doing it for so long, it's normal. So they want to see somebody else get some shine for once, and I feel like that's where a lot of the hate comes from, is because Drake has been on top so long. But I do think it has a lot to do with the Kendrick beef,
Right.
too.
Right. Now, Kendrick just announced that he's going on tour. We'll talk about his tour. But YSF, they've been going on a couple of tours within the last couple of years. I know
Facts.
you did one with Brazy Brook, but then you
Facts.
turned around and just recently did one with 38 Honcho where y'all hit multiple cities. Talk about hitting those cities, what the response was like, and how often do you all plan on doing those tours? Because you also keep Els Bentley with you, too.
I keep Els Bentley with me, too. Like, getting into the touring was a necessity because I feel like that's like a huge moneymaker for independent artists. Touring and merchandise are two of the biggest ways to make money when you're an indie artist, and being able to tap in with the markets and your fans and the markets that actually fuck with you is a necessity, because wherever you have the opportunity to touch one, you can touch two. You know what I'm saying? And the goal is to multiply. If I can go down there this time and have 30 people, I'm going to go put the extra legwork in, so next time I'm down there, I got 60. You know what I'm saying? And then the next time that I'm down there, I got 100. And then the next time I'm down there, I got 200. So for me, being able to tap in with your fans in each market, not only does it look good on video and on social media that you know what I'm saying, you're actively moving around and you're actually working and doing shit in different markets, not just where you're from.
Yeah.
Actually trying to build your name up somewhere else. But it's very necessary because there's going to come to a point where you are able to sell 100 to 200, 300 tickets, 5,000, 10,000 tickets. You know what I'm saying, in a different market due to the legwork that you put in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're not putting that legwork in, it's never going to happen. The easiest way to build fans is in person first.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I can make you fall in love with me as a human being, it's already going to give me a little bit of an advantage when it comes to you listening to my music. It's going to make you a little more biased because you fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing better when you're building your brand than having multiple representatives that are helping you build your brand because they believe in you. You know what I'm saying? So now I met you today, and I met you, and I met Chippers, and now both of y'all are going to go speak highly of me to other people that y'all know, and they going to tap in just off word of mouth. And just like that, I'm growing within that area. It went from me knowing 2 people, now next time I come down, I got 20 people that know me. You know what I'm saying? I started with something small, and I moved up, so that's why we do the touring, is to be able to tap in and see where we currently are in other markets. And because you might not make money immediately in the markets that you go to, you got to go build.
Yeah, you got to go building.
You know what I'm saying? You got to go build. So that's the goal, is to build until we get to the point to where now we getting booked to be down there because people want to pay to see us. So just building that experience for us as a team, as a whole, YSF Touring Agency, learning how to properly put on the tour, how to properly market and advertise, and, you know what I'm saying, how to run complete campaigns, getting the merchandise set in stone, and just building everything up. Like, as we do this now at the lower levels, Indy, when we get bigger, we already got the grasp, but we know
how to move.
We know how to move. We know what to do. We've been in this market. We've done that. We already tried that. It didn't work. Now we know what to do. So when shit is really in motion, we capitalizing and we keeping every dollar in house, because we doing all our own touring, we doing all our own merch, we doing all our, you know what I'm saying?
Got the LaRussell, doing the Russell move,
doing everything. We doing everything all by ourselves. So
I like that. Now, speaking of those markets, you guys have been up in Philly, riding up to Philly. You on the line with Siegel. He said, "Hey, come through." He heard 38 Honcho's music. He liked it. How did you get into that market? How did you start building those relationships? And is that one of those things from just being on tour and just networking?
Being on the road. I started to really tap in Philly with my homegirl, Kim Chanel. She managed OT7 Kwani. Okay. So I met Kim in Atlanta, and we just, we hit it off. Like, that's my dog. Like, we just started rocking with one another. She invited me to come to Kwani's show in New York at the Gramercy Theater. And he actually sold out the Gramercy, his very first show. I was there. She had me laced up. I'm backstage. I'm in the green room. I'm on the stage with Kwani and them, all that. She took care of me. But while I was there, I ended up meeting a lot of big names in Philly, specifically Make a Bag Flash. That's my dog. My boy Flash really started to tap me in to the Philly. But I met Flash, Make a Bag Flash, and I met HBN Joe. My brother Joey, he's from South Jersey, but he get a lot of love in like Philly area. You know, South Jersey and Philly are like right there.
Yeah.
So he manages artist Worldwide JP, who's a part of Kwani's camp.
Okay.
And Kwani and JP gets a lot of love in Philly too. So between them, I was kind of able to just like start building my own motion in Philly. And mind you, Honcho was locked up at this time. So the relationships that I made then, they ended up translating, because JP is an artist. So when I had the opportunity for JP and Honcho to meet, they just hit it off, bro. And they locked in. So it makes it a lot easier when you got a good name that you tapped in with in a city like Philly, you know what I'm saying? So now we going and now we tapping in, we moving around. We got Flash taking us. We doing shows with Flash. We popping in with different places. We locked in with Tinkerbella. It was just a lot that we were able to do in a short amount of time to really start to build our name in Philly.
Yeah.
Due to those people. Like I said, we met some key people that comes from just being on the road. Like, the world is a small place, people say.
Yeah.
But it's really small when you actually outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you actually moving state to state, when you actually meeting different people. Because I come to Kentucky and I meet you, and because I met you, you just made this network that much smaller. Because now we got 10 people that we know. We got 10 mutuals. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or I got people that you know that heard of me, and now you able to bring a direct connection. So we skipping steps when you actually network. When you
Right.
network, it allows you to skip steps, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy because it was kind of like that when y'all went down to the Henny Thing Festival. I remember y'all went down
Facts,
there and
in
Rich
Houston.
called me
Yup.
like,
In
I'm at the
Austin.
crib
In
sleep.
Austin.
Yeah, in
In
Austin.
Austin,
He
yup.
called me. He's like, hey, you know them? I'm like, yeah, that's Hood and Flow. Yeah, they
Yup.
good. He's like, all right, cool. Because that's how he is. You from Radcliffe, you from the area?
Yup.
Yeah, come on, y'all smooth. They with me. Nigga,
Man,
this
he-
Kentucky
he
business.
took care of us. So look, before I had already called him. He had got me a couple passes, like for us to be able to get through and maneuver how we wanted to. But I had my two videographers, Floater and you already know, with me at the time. And I was just trying to put something together, man. We in Austin. We out here with Scott Morris doing this South by Southwest tour with Brazy Brook. I got my videographers with me, but I need to find something that they can get into to start building their name too. I don't want them to just be out here bored. So we kind of did a little bit of finessing. But you know, you got to do that sometimes. You got to do that sometimes. And then Rich kind of took care of us the rest of the way. Like, he made sure we got in with no issue, had passes. But I finessed, so I knew that Rich guy was, this before I even met him. I had already been following him and like tuned in with what he had going on though.
Right.
So I knew he was going to be there. So we ended up just showing up early. And I ended up talking to one of the dudes who was supposed to be like managing the media personnel, and I kind of like, you know, finessed and and got my videographers on it and made them a part of it.
Yeah.
Which is how we ended up getting the exact location earlier to be there to collect our backstage passes and stuff like that. And I have my brother Mike, he's from here in Radcliffe as well. Brought him straight from here to Austin to experience something like that, him and Lilo. And I had the whole gang there, and then from there, bro, it kind of just went up. That's also when I got hip to Rod 49, was through Rich guy.
Okay,
Rich
yeah.
was actually a big advocate of Rod 49 before Rob even really started bubbling for real, because Rich was fucking with Larry Morrow real heavy. So I seen, you know, he was around Larry, and, you know, Larry was fucking with Rod 49 real tough at the time. So Rod 49 performed at the Anything Fest. This is back in 2022.
Yeah, because he did the
wasn't
one in
big
Houston.
like that yet. Yup. He
I
wasn't
did an
big like
interview
that
with
yet.
him.
Yup.
Yeah.
So that's when him and Blue, Rich guy had him, Blue. I think Money Man was there
Money
too.
Man was there too, because I did the Money Man interview.
Him, Blue, and Money Man. But I was on stage. Rich had us on stage with him. Like, I'm turned up. It's top 2,500, 3,000 people out there.
Nah, it's packed.
We on stage looking like something. You know what I'm saying? Like, on stage looking like something. But it was packed.
Yeah.
Hell of an experience. Listen, man, I'm still grateful as hell for that experience. A lot occurred during that trip, during that South by Southwest tour. And that was our very first tour experience that we went on with Scott Morris. So that was my very first one. I funded that out of my pocket 100%, from paying both of my videographers to making sure my artists had all the clothes and the money and the food, and to paying for our hotels, to paying for our 12 passenger that we was in. That was like my first real experience, like on tour, and I funded. That was 100% self-funded. Like, so that let me know that I love this shit. I go broke. I ended up
Doing this shit.
I ended up spending. I think that total trip cost me something around almost like 10 grand. And we came down to like the final 3 or 4 days. And I ain't have nothing but like $300. So I had to have somebody back home go sell some of my shoe collection. She went and sold some of my Yeezys and some of my J's. I made like $1,700 off selling them, just so I would have enough money to get us through the rest of the
sacrifice.
Trip. Yep. Matter of fact, I didn't have enough money to get us through our last stop, which was in New Orleans. So we went from Texas straight back to Kentucky. So
that's that grind though.
man, that's that grind
Getting
though.
it out
You
the
know what I'm
mud.
saying? That's that get it out the mud. That's that how bad do you want it? You know what I'm saying? That's that I got $1,500 to my name, but this is gonna cost us $1,800.
Now, which brings me to this. You went from doing those things, going on tour, to the next thing we know, Hood pops up and he got the YSF piece. But not only do you have a piece, 38 has a piece, your DJs who's running with you, they got a piece, your videographers, they got a piece. What inspires you to make sure that you put everybody in a chain, make sure that you put everybody in some YSF, so when they step in, they representing the brand?
Ain't nothing bigger than the program, bro. You know what I'm saying? And people are way more likely to tune in when there's 15 niggas shining compared to just 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more respect in the mix when people see your whole crew looking like it. You look like a force. You look like a movement. And I busted my ass my first 3 years being owning and running this label, that I put in enough sweat equity that when I met my partner Chase, at first it was starting off as like an investment situation, but he seen like the work that had went into it, and he really believed in me, that he just ended up becoming a partner in this. And when he bought into it, my vision was, I'm gonna make sure I utilize this new funds and new finances that I have to turn the whole gang up. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't just me. And it looks way better that 38 Honcho has a very strong supporting cast behind him. That not only is he fly as hell when he pops up, but his videographer and his DJ looking like it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's way more official. And nowadays the look and the image matters more than anything. Some people get too caught up in the image that they ain't got the rest of the shit. It's all gotta hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all gotta hit. The image is just that part that's gonna cap it off. The image is what grabs the people's attention. But then you gotta have the rest to deliver that final blow, whether it's the music, the content, the team, it's all of it. You gotta have all of that shit together. And that's what's really gonna like get people to tap in and bring you closer to where it is that you wanna be at. So my mind it's never just been about me. Like I truly believe that I'm the guy that's gonna sacrifice it all to make sure that everybody gets a piece. And I know that when I win, I eat, everybody eats. And oftentimes I'm the last person that gets to eat. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I knew that I wanted to create wealth for more than just myself. So when I look at where I want to be, I don't just see me there. I see my whole team. So we all got to be looking like it.
It's like that. When you said that, it takes me back to that J line. If everybody in your clique is rich, that means your clique is rugged. So if somebody falls off, we can all be each other's crutches. You know what I mean? So ain't nobody gonna fall off. And then like Dame said, if he fall off, if you fall off, and he got some bread, and he got some bread, and he got some bread, he can put you right back on, and you right back in position. You know what I'm saying? And doing what you need to do. So when you said that, it made me think of that. Now before you get up out of here, what's next for YSF? What's next coming up for 38 Honcho? And where can people go tap into everything that you all got going on?
Man, so what's next for YSF is 2025. We really taking over. 2025 is our chance to really show like what we've been working on, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. We're not doing that anymore. We already put the pieces of the puzzle together. Now it's time for us to display that to the world. And 2025, 38 Honcho catches his break. 2025, YSF The Label catches, we catch our break behind the soon to be the biggest independent rapper in music in 2025. Not just rapper, but artist. And 38 Honcho is so talented that there's not much that he can't do. He's very intelligent, he's an intellectual, and he's young. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be able to hop in any lane he wants. Longevity is going to be a part of his career. He's not going to have a 2-3 year career. He's the next Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
He's going from Beanie Siegel to Rick Ross.
Okay.
And that's the steps that we're taking, and that just shows you the longevity. He's got a real story.
Yeah.
And he's not going to do nothing but continue to grow with the more experience that he's getting. He's been doing this rap shit for a year and a half. You know what I'm saying?
And already is where he's at.
A year and a half.
So
is
that's
already,
it.
So just think, we still got a lot more work to do. We still got a lot more progress to be made.
Because the 10,000 hours ain't even been put in yet.
Ain't been put in yet. You know what I'm saying? So we still growing. We still learning. We still getting over the learning curve.
Yeah.
2025 is the year that we really take over and we take off as an independent label, and we show people how you do it and how to properly invest in yourself and really bet on yourself. And you can find 38 Honcho on all platforms at the numbers 38 HAUNCHO 38 Honcho. That's on Instagram. That's on DSPs, which is Spotify, Apple Music, on streaming platforms like YouTube. 38 Honcho. And you can find me at JHood YSF. That's JHOOD YSF on Instagram.
And before we get up out of here again, now
YSFTheLabel.com. That's a website. We got merch. You can tap in with upcoming news, with Honcho's music, new shows coming up. YSFTheLabel.com.
Now at the Bryson Tiller, after the Bryson Tiller, Rich made a post. He said YSF, J Hood, they got it on lock, woo, whatever. It kicked up some dirt. I know we'll talk about it later. I ain't gonna even have you get into that.
I
But it
will
kicked
say
up
this is
some
the last
dust,
thing I'm gonna say. Rich God putting that stamp, it stirred the pot, but I think it solidified a lot of things.
Yeah, and I was here when he was sitting on that couch right there, and he called Money Man. You know what I mean? Money Man when he tapped in. So
Facts.
I was there. So it was real deal. So, but I'm not gonna hold you, Hood. I know we finna do something with 38 Honcho. This is Through My Eyes with One Eyed Willie. Y'all are now tapped into the world's illest podcast, and I just had my man J Hood tap in with me, man. Y'all make sure y'all go run this up, check it out, go follow, go tap in with 38 Honcho, go check out the music. That old boy sample is crazy. And he got some more shit coming too. So make sure y'all tap in. It's 38 Honcho, it's One Eye Willie, and we out of here.
Hey, when you see the world through my eyes, you getting critical views. I'm talking street politics and real political moves. See the reviews, exclusive fashion, hat to the shoes. Corporate business is the sports world, and real